Tú eres muy malo. Roto el pato de vestuario. La interpretación siempre negativa. Siempre negativa. Nunca positiva.
Welcome to Siempre Positivo. After Barcelona were finally beaten in La Liga in 2025, losing 3-2 at home to Villarreal after wrapping up the title on Thursday and partying for 2 days. They probably weren't in their best shape for the visit of Villarreal. I'm Sam Marsden, joined by Rik, Sharma and Toni Juan Marti. This is Siempre Positivo. Rik, can you explain to us why you're standing like Tony Pulis giving a press conference?
Yeah, there was a few delays at the start of recording this pod, and I decided I wasn't going to wait any longer for my breakfast, so I'm grilling some halloumi that I have to go and get out of the oven as soon as I get the chance to.
Yeah, for the unaware, maybe including Tony. Tony, do you know who Tony Pulis is?
No. I mean, yes, it's a coach, yes.
Yeah, he was the coach at Stoke. He was famous for, he would go in his press conferences and he would never sit down, he would do them standing up. Even if he was like on the stage, he would stand up on the stage.
I didn't know it. I know who is him, but I didn't know he was famous for this.
He'd refused to take off his baseball cap.
Famous might be an exaggeration, but among journalist circles, it was a thing. Yeah, Pulis.
No, but I know.
Pulis stands up. Anyone like that in Spain? Any coaches that refuse to sit down for their press conferences?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No.
How you doing, Tony? You good?
Yes. Good morning. Yeah, everything fine. Yes, I'm quite relaxed. Good weekend, nice weekend. So nothing strange, nothing special. I was walking around your neighborhood yesterday in the afternoon around Rambla de Poblenou, had an ice cream, but I didn't see you.
Where did you get the ice cream from? Tio Che's?
No, because Tio Che, I know Tio Che from since I was a kid, so this time we wanted to change because...
Was it the one at the bottom called Luigi's? Is it called the Italian one?
This one, the Italian one, yes.
Yeah.
So nothing. Quite relaxed weekend. What about you?
Yeah, good question. I can't remember now. Obviously, the game on Saturday. Got a complete blank about what happened on Saturday. What was on Saturday?
Well, maybe it was you that was out partying for 2 days straight and you can't remember anything.
FA Cup final. Oh no, I went to watch because it's Festas de Mayo in Poblenou, isn't it? So I was with Luna. We were out in the barrio. We went to watch Aladdin. We went.
Aladdin. Is that what the Spanish call it? Aladdin.
Yeah. How do you say it?
Aladdin.
Aladdin is Aladdin.
Yeah, I know. It makes sense, obviously, in Spanish, but it's just so funny to hear Sam say it like that.
Aladdin, for sure, yes. All my life, Aladdin, yes.
Yeah. We were just wandering around the festas in Poblenou. There was some salsa dancing and stuff going on and some different things. Bumped into some friends and stuff, not too much. And then, the game on Sunday. Tony, did you go to the parade on Friday? We've not spoken about the parade yet, have we?
No, not at all. These things you always watch it and leave it always better from the TV.
Do you think? I was saying to Rik, I couldn't. It's hard to remember how it. Obviously, 670,000 people. The police said were there. It seems like a lot, and it did. The pictures looked good. How does it compare to previous parades? I can't remember now. I feel like it was as good, if not better, than previous parades, but I can't remember for sure in terms of turnout and fans and excitement. I don't know if you remember the. Obviously, I don't remember the ones from the treble and stuff under Pep Guardiola. Mine are more since sort of like the last 10 years. But how did it compare for you, or is it hard to compare them?
Bueno, hombre, a ver, it's true that what happens in Barcelona is special with this kind of rua. And it's true that for me, what I saw from the TV is that now the people has recovered the illusion. You cannot compare even with what happened with Xavi. This time was totally different. I saw it with kids, with people. Well, the same line that we have seen during the season, with people going to Montjuic every weekend with good ticketing. So, but then also for me as a person, if tomorrow I have sons or daughters, for sure I will bring them to this Rua for them to enjoy. But if you think it coldly, it's better to watch it from TV because when you are in the street, you see them like passing, but then it's difficult for you to see them again. Okay, you can then walk and go into another point, but but yes, it was amazing. I think some players did know what does Barca mean until they live moments like this. So it was unbelievable. You went there with Luna?
No, I didn't go there. No, Luna had something on Friday. I couldn't go. I can't remember what it was now. But I have been to Ruas before. There was one that came past my flat once where I used to live in Ajampla and saw out the window. And I've been to watch them at points before, but I've never done the press thing. You know, the media can walk. You can walk alongside the bus for the whole route. I've never done that. Did you do that last time, Rik, with Gavi? Is that what you did? You walked alongside the bus, or you just went out on your own accord?
Not with the press pass, but I did follow the bus around for a bit, talking to people, like getting quotes from them about the women's team and the men's team as well. Because at the time, I think both teams were doing well. They won the league with Gavi, and I think there was a joint tour, wasn't it? They had 2 buses.
Yeah. So that was Friday. So Barca won the league on Thursday, partied Thursday night, partied on the bus Friday, partied into the night Friday after the bus tour, and then Hansi Flick said on Saturday, those who party can also work. And on Sunday against Villarreal, he picked more or less a strong team. There were suggestions before the game that maybe he would pick a La Masia 11. The question was put to him, and he said, we would think about it, but he didn't do it. He brought in Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal, kept Gerard Martin at left back, Eric Garcia at right back, obviously Jules Koundé still out. Balde was on the bench, came on in the second half, and he brought in Gavi for Frenkie de Jong, which was one of the only changes really. And I guess Lamine as well for Dani Olmo. It was 2-1 to Barca at half-time. Villarreal had taken an early lead. Ayosu Perez making it 1-0 in the 4th minute. But another incredible goal from Lamine Yamal, his 4th goal in 6 games, and all of them very, very, very similar and very, very good. Probably 4 goals that most players would never score in their career. That was 1-1 in the 38th minute, and in first half stoppage time, after Lamine had almost made it 2-1 with another ridiculous piece of skill, slinking in between 2 players where there seemed to be no gap, and then smashing the crossbar. But the play ended with a goal anyway. The ball eventually found its way back to Fermin Lopez on the edge of the box, and he made it 2-1. Second half, not too much to report for Barca. Perhaps it was no coincidence that Pedri came off and they lost a little bit of control, without discrediting Frenkie de Jong, who was they were all just there, weren't they? They were all just there. I think there's no analysis necessary for this game really, in terms of they were all on the partying for 2 days, and Villarreal came back to win in the second half. The first goal, or the second goal for Villarreal, first goal in the second half, was a nice goal. Santi Comesaña, the recipient of a through ball, beating the offside trap, if you can call it a trap, a high line, beating the line anyway, getting in the finish was really, really nice. A dinked finish over Marc-Andre ter Stegen. And it was friend of the pod member, Chris P's pal, Buchanan, the Canadian international who won the game late on, making it 3-2. Villarreal, even without the win, would have sealed Champions League qualification, but they will be in the Champions League next year. Barcelona, champions, received the trophy afterwards. There were celebrations on the pitch with the players families, friends, etc. And Barcelona's 17-game unbeaten run ended by Villarreal. Rik, thoughts on the game, if there are any?
Not a great deal, really. I guess it's interesting to talk about the lineup a bit. I thought it was inevitable that ter Stegen would play, and there wouldn't be this La Masia lineup that was going to be selected. I mean, on the actual game itself, we knew there would be goals. 5 was sort of the minimum amount of goals I expected in this game, given that both teams are quite attacking, and Barca had won the league, and they didn't need to be as diligent defensively as they have been at times this season. Certainly not that much in recent months. Lamine Yamal, brilliant goal, continues to build his collection of brilliant goals, like you say. And not a lot to say on the game, to be honest. Yeah,
talking about that high line, ter Stegen was speaking to ESPN after the game, and he was asked about it. He was asked about it generally, but obviously he probably felt he was on the receiving end of it yesterday. He said it's actually a very high line. Sometimes today a bit unbalanced. He said it with a laugh, but obviously probably a little bit annoyed that he'd conceded 3 goals. I think Villarreal had maybe 3 or 4 shots on target, not to suggest they were necessarily his fault. Tony, was this performance a little bit like you at sport right now? You know you're leaving. Barca know they've already won the league. Like, it's not that they weren't trying or didn't want to win, but also you lack that little bit of motivation. Perhaps. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'm still working, so please respect. I only ask for respect for your mates, please respect. Please, this is the only thing.
That sounds like your friend Kike. Is what he says.
Yeah, exactly.
Solo pido respeto.
This is the only thing I beg for. Please, respect from people from ESPN. Thanks, just respect. Because Sunday morning I was watching Juvenila Barça under 18 in Ciutat Esportiva, watching Copa del Rey against Valencia. Meanwhile, Sam Marsden was enjoying the sunshine of Barcelona, and he's not quitting his
Aladdin.
job. So please, next time my lawyer will proceed. Sam, thank you. After this, now I think we don't deserve. There's no need to comment, to discuss a lot about this game. Lamine, brilliant, amazing shape to these last 2 months. In fact, this is a bad news for him to end the season. I'm sure if the season continued 1 month more, no one would have doubt that he has to be Ballon d'Or. But as if it's finished right now, there will be some doubts. I mean, he's candidate, but I'm not sure if he's going to win. But if the season lasted 1 more month, I think he would be total favorite. Apart from this, nothing. Villarreal is a top team, top players, top talents. Nothing for this. Only serious analysis we could do, in my opinion, is the situation in the goal. Because it's true that Ter Stegen is coming back from injury, but also conceded 3 goals, was not brilliant. Some doubts regarding Chesney. Debate whether a goalkeeper has to be signed. For me, at the end, they will manage to get Chesney to stay 1 more season. No goalkeeper will be signed, but I can understand there is a little bit of noise. Apart from this, no more story for this game. Ansu Fati was not able to have a farewell. In my opinion, he will leave, maybe on loan, but he will leave. Also, Pablo Torre had not the chance to say goodbye. For me, also not a good thing. He deserved it. Also, I think he will have minutes in Bilbao. But that's all that it was the game. The most interesting thing was the party that came later.
Yeah, on the goalkeeper situation, I think my opinion is, and we'll talk about this on the Sporting Director pod, which will drop once the season finishes, and maybe my opinion would have changed by then, but right now, and it has been, is you do renew Tech if you can get him on a low enough deal, if you can convince him to renew, and you let Peña go and you have him and Ter Stegen next season. I think in an ideal situation is you probably let Tech go. It's probably good for him and the club. He's had this great experience and it doesn't become any sort of dragging on sort of issue. You let Peña go and you would sign a goalkeeper who would challenge, for the first time, genuinely challenge Ter Stegen, but I think the priorities will probably be elsewhere. We'll have a look when we see how much money we've got to spend on the Sporting Director pod, but that would probably be the situation as it is.
It's hard in goal to get to sign a player that can challenge, because, I mean, obviously with Ter Stegen is perhaps an exception to this himself back in the Claudio Bravo Ter Stegen days. Ultimately, if you have a goalkeeper that's challenging, once they're in. You don't take them out and keep playing around with them. I think that once they're in, they're in. There are 1 or 2 clubs that are an exception to this, like Mallorca have Dominic Grief and also Leo Roman, who and for some reason they play Leo Roman against Barca and Real Madrid, and he makes like 30 saves in 2 games. But
yeah, I don't know how.
The rest of the games.
Like I say, this wouldn't be a situation that I would look to do this year. Probably next summer, or when it depends on the finances. But basically, if you did have the money and there was an option, a clear option, it would be more sort of like you sign this guy and you say, look, you're going to be our number 1. Ter Stegen stays the number 1 for now, and Ter Stegen's almost on like last chance. Sounds a bit like dramatic, but it's like, look, this guy's come to be. I don't know how you manage it on a professional sort of human level with Ter Stegen in terms of that situation, but not challenge him. You know, like in the past, it's like you need like a backup, and like Jasper Cillessen was never truly going to take Ter Stegen's place, but someone who is actually like, because he was the same age as Ter Stegen, someone who is actually younger, who is actually, you know, seen as the next Barcelona goalkeeper. But yeah, I don't think that's a situation for this summer. And just coming back to Tony on Lamine and the Ballon d'Or. Rick, do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing if Lamine won the Ballon d'Or? I mean, most things don't affect Lamine, and it's almost not to do with how Lamine would react to it, but do you think it would be a good thing or a bad thing if he ticked off the Ballon d'Or this year? I guess it can't be a bad thing, can it? But do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I don't know if I'm more inclined to say it's a bad thing than a good thing. In what way would it be a good thing, apart from the fact that he wins the Ballon d'Or? Like, in what effects could it have that are positive?
Yeah.
Whereas what effects could it have that are negative? There are some possible effects, not necessarily guaranteed, but if a player wins the highest individual accolade a player can win at 17, it's not... I mean, of course, if the player's got the right mindset, it won't have any impact. But there's more chance it could have a negative impact than a positive impact.
Yeah. Tony, I was giving these stats to Rik yesterday. In the game against Villarreal yesterday, when Barca lost 3-2, Lamine Yamal had 114 touches. A couple of questions. One is the second question will come afterwards. How many times do you think in his Barcelona career, stats in the La Liga, Champions League and Copa del Rey, I don't have the Super Copa, do you think he's had over 100 touches in a game?
Never.
6 times. The one is kind of the one game when he's had the most was against Inter, the extra time game. He had 130 touches.
Well, klar, of course. Counting the extra time makes more sense.
Well, yeah, but the 130, it probably could have been 100 over 90 minutes as well, because in the Inter first leg he had 104.
Yeah. No.
Against the Espanyol he had 103. So 4 of his 100 touches have come in the last month. The other one was against Real Sociedad in March, I think it was. And then there was one last season against Villarreal in the 5-3. Just shows how much Barca are giving him the ball and how much he's demanding the ball now.
Yeah, and
it's on another level to before.
Yeah. And increasing, taking responsibility. For me, there is how can I say, a funny... ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Barómetro. ¿Barometer?
Barometer, yeah.
There is a barometer to understand how fast is Lamine becoming the leader of this new Barca. Is directly related with the reactions of Robert Lewandowski to him. 1 year ago, looking at him, complaining at him, young kid with talent. Some months ago, and also shouting him and saying, "Hey, you have to pass me." Not even shaking the hand. There is a scene last year that we saw. You can Google it, where Lamine wanted to shake hands with Lewandowski and he didn't want to do that. Few months ago, Lewandowski just complaining a little bit more shy. Few months ago, when Lamine started scoring, just not saying nothing. Now, shaking hands and hugging him and even laughing. So, this barometer for me is funny, but is the way I can see Lamine is improving, not only in the pitch but also as a leader, as a number one. Because don't forget that when Lewandowski came, we all said that he was going to be the number one. That's not like this anymore, and you can see it with Lewandowski reactions. Everybody accepts and expects that is now Lamine the number one, and he's feeling really comfortable with this. Even I would say that this is making a positive impact in Lamine instead of putting him pressure. We are seeing a better version of Lamine. So yes, I think that right now it was too fast, but right now, if I think it coldly, can you name one player right now that you would pick him over Lamine Yamal right now? I don't think so. Maximum Mbappe. So at least for me, I'm still a little bit afraid to say this, but I think yes, no, we have to say it, no. Lamine is the best player in the world right now, with for me, together with Mbappe.
You finally got on my bus, Tony. I've been driving this bus from the start of the season.
You said at the start of the season Lamine was the best in the world?
Not before the season.
Send me the chapter where you said this, because I want to check it.
Fact check.
Fake news of Charmian.
You know what? If I can find it, which is quite difficult because we don't do very good notes about what we say on the pod. Vale. Well, it takes effort. It takes a long time to dig through the archive. We'll see. I'll send it to you. And if I do find it, I'll have a quick look. If I can find it, because maybe we'll put it in an episode title or something, I'll attach it to the end of this pod.
No, but what would you wanted to say? That you have been saying that Lamine is the best in the world?
Well, yeah. Look, there was some doubts for a while. I think I said this probably September, October is when I imagine I said it. And then in the bad period, I was doubting it. I was like, maybe we were a bit too hasty when Barca were playing badly in November and December, because the best player in the world would be able to drag them out of this.
Yeah, but he was injured. He had the ankle injury around that time.
Yeah, it's true. And he missed like 2 or 3 of the games that Barca did lose in that period. And that's why they lost. Or he was on the bench and then he came on and he couldn't save it. But then since the turn of the year, he's just been unstoppable, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's quite open at the moment. People can have their own favourites and use their own sort of barometers. You could say, Salah for the first 2/3 of the season in terms of absolute effectiveness and dragging the team was probably the best player in the world at that time. In the second half of the season, I'm sure people can make a case for Dembele, like Tony says, and Mbappe, the body of his work over the last few years, and even in this dysfunction in Real Madrid team has been good. Obviously, Rafinha at Barca has been crazy. What I say is, for me, is like the player you'd rather watch in the world. For me, he's probably the best player in the world right now. I don't know if he's the best player in the world. In terms of form over the last 2 months, at this stage of the season, he is the best player. But I mean, is that fair to make him the best player in the world straight away? He's in the conversation. He's in the conversation for this season, the best player of the season, with those players that I've mentioned. And for me, I'd say he is number one, but not with the force you would say like Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. Exactly. And I would argue with someone about Cristiano Ronaldo or anyone else they were trying to put in the conversation. There's a conversation to be had, and it depends on what you're using. Maybe there's a bit too much recency bias with Lamine because he's in such great form at the moment. But for me,
it's also because Madrid didn't win anything as well. I know that's more Ballon d'Or-y, but like Mbappe has been brilliant, and if Madrid had won something, maybe I'd be more open to saying Mbappe. But
Comment
between those two has to be.
Come on, Tony. You said what you really wanted to talk about was the celebrations. Did you get to some MVP of the celebrations? Some things that you liked in the on pitch celebrations afterwards? I didn't see too much. I saw Pedri's dad. I put this video on social media. I saw Pedri's dad saving a penalty from Pedri and celebrating it like he'd just made an amazing save. A couple of people
we have to downgrade him in the rankings of the penalty shootout. Pedri after his penalty was saved by his old man.
A couple of people saying that Barca should sign him to replace Ter Stegen. There was also another funny moment I just saw on someone put on Twitter of the opposite of that was Chesney's son did a bicycle kick and it was going in, and Chesney's absolutely booted it out of the way rather than letting it go in. So his son didn't get his moment. Tony, what did you catch from the celebrations after the game?
Not really. The funniest moments were in la, ¿cómo se llama? Rua?
In the parade. The bus route, the bus parade. Open-top bus parade.
I found it funny to see Casado and Lamine dancing with the flag, with big flags of Barca. Also, Lamine dancing with his little brother. It's a so funny kid. Also, Lamine dancing with Kat. That was also a great scene, which is making viral in social media. What else? I saw also. The son of Rafinha, Gael, playing in the grass with the brother of Lamine, playing and battling, fighting for the ball. So it was funny because at one point when the brother of Lamine scored a goal, the son of Rafinha went into the grass to celebrate like his dad does, putting the knee in the grass and doing the same thing. So it was nice because it was not his goal, but he wanted to celebrate as his father does when he scores goals. Also, I saw the interview of Hansi Flick with the Zone. It was quite funny, quite interesting. I think it's he's a really, even if we say that Hansi Flick is a very serious person, at some point I have seen him very making jokes. He made a couple of jokes regarding that he's German and that the fact that he has no cold, because they were the journalists saying that it was a little bit cold yesterday in Montjuic. So it was so funny to watch all these scenes. Yes,
Hansi and Rik Sharma, the only people in t-shirts in Montjuic.
Yeah, I wasn't cold actually. Yeah, it was fine. But it's nice to see these scenes sometimes when they've won something and it's sunk in a little bit. So they won on Thursday, and then they speak after the game yesterday, and they're just that touch more relaxed, and that touch more, the pressure it has seeped away a little bit. And I think, like I said to Sam after the press conference, he still answered 12 questions, but it was the longest Hansi Flick press conference that I can remember, because he just spoke more at length about everything than he normally would. Because normally he's a bit tense and a bit kind of, even if he tries to not to put that across, he is wound up a bit tightly, even less than many managers, but it's still there. But then obviously that undoes itself after winning the league and after the season's effectively over with just one more game to go.
Yeah. Flick saying that Atletico Madrid game in December was the turning point.
Yeah. We thought that. I said to Sam this as well yesterday. At the time, me and Sam were both very impressed by the performance against Atletico and thought that that's the key to the rest of the season. Tony, you had doubts.
Yeah. Well, Hansi Flick said this, as you said, that it was the best. I don't know how to say in English. Punto de inflexión. How do you say in English?
Turning point.
Turning point. Yes. Yeah. I have to accept it. For me, I didn't believe that it was going to make or going to be the first step, the first stroke of a champion Barca. Yes. Totally agree with total credit for all those who believed that that defeat would make Barca stronger. I was not convinced about this, but it's true. And Hansi Flick has mentioned this, I would say twice or three times in the last days, that they trained hard at the back of Christmas holiday. They had they had good results, and that helped them to keep winning. Also, that the Super Cup was a turning point. He said that it gave them self-confidence to keep working. So yes, if it's true that if you have to choose a key point, maybe the good results that Barca got the first 2 months of 2025 were the base that made them to take off, definitely as a team.
Easy to look at it now in hindsight, but there's some similarities, even though they lost against Atletico, to the Atletico game in 2015.
With Luis Enrique, yes.
Luis Enrique. And that performance where I think Messi, Neymar and Suarez all scored for the first time.
Yeah, there was the
iconic
picture of all three was that day, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think example. Actually, maybe it was against Elche they all scored for the first time, but that picture was taken on that day, where they're all arm in arm celebrating.
Yes.
And that was obviously a big turning point on the way to the treble, because to be honest, Luis Enrique had been right on the verge of being sacked before that January.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Good point, yes.
Rick, did you manage any ratings from the game yesterday?
I haven't actually thought about it, no. Because, again, this time I was also distracted because I had to cover Real Madrid's game. I had to keep an eye on Atletico. I do 10 games at once, basically. I had the multi-goal on my iPad, and then I was watching Barca as well. But hard to do individual ratings when you're sort of tracking 10 games in the relegation battle as well.
Rick's rating's absolutely in the mud. I think the only interest in, as Tony touched on, was Ter Stegen and perhaps Gavi.
I saw Gavi make some unnecessary fouls, but what's new there?
Yeah, well, the problem regarding Gavi is that and it's not my case, just being in touch with people that have followed him during all his years in La Masia, is that opposite than people think, Gavi is a very talented guy. And the problem for him is that he's being reduced as a not defensive midfielder, but like intense midfielder who is able to press and make fouls. And
Maton.
And to be honest, he was not set or prepared for this, or at least he was not this profile when he was young player. So I don't know.
But it's also because as good as he is technically, he's surrounded by people who are as good or better technically.
Yeah, okay, but I also think he maybe is not feeling free or he hasn't still the self-confidence enough to show all his magic, because with the injury and all these things, maybe he's not trying to do some interesting things that he could do. But for me, it's a problem, because if the storytelling keeps going like this, he won't be an offensive player anymore, and he can get reduced like a tool for the second half. I'm not going to say it's a problem, but he should start showing technical skills in terms of key passes or technical details, if he doesn't want to get only as what I say. Because, for example, he used to play sometimes as a number 10 or close to the box in La Masia, but right now Hansi Flick said that he prefers Gavi as a 6 or as a 8. And if it keeps going like this, we will consider Gavi only as a number 6 in a couple of years, not even an 8. So for the next season, I think he has the goal to start showing things with the ball in terms of quality.
Yeah, he's in danger of being pigeonholed, as that's the word in English, like to get put into that one position, like an actor who only plays the same role again and again and again.
Yeah,
and again.
exactly.
But For me, part of it is he should also make an effort to change his image a little bit in that way, because he plays up to the idea that he's this ball of energy, this guy will put in dirty tackles and blah 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 blah, which doesn't help his case for playing in.
I think that I feel that he loves when then we have clips in social media when he gets angry with Asensio, or he goes too strong in a battle. Okay, this will give you lots of likes, no? But football is not only this. So I think yes, he also needs to make to think a little bit about his branding message, as a Gavi.
Yeah.
That is all we have time for this week. We have one more episode to come this season, next Monday, after Sunday's final league game of the season between Barca and Athletic Club, but we will continue to pod on Patreon throughout the summer. You can join us there, where we'll be discussing transfers, taking your questions and growing our various series, including Barca Seasons, where we look back on past campaigns starting from the year 2000 and finishing our best Barca 11 of the modern era. Various episodes from both series are already available to subscribers. You can also sign up on Patreon for free, with the odd episode made available, and that's where any major stories during the summer, if there are any, will be covered. In the meantime, enjoy a free midweek. Look forward to the Women's Champions League final on Saturday between Barca and Arsenal in Lisbon, and bask in the success of Hansi Flick's team this season. Stay positive.